Hello beautiful beings, how are you today? In this video we're going to talk about 5 of my favorite spiritual and self-help books that I recommend you to read. But right before I head into that, of course I'm going to pull an oracle card for you today. Today I have the Earth Magic Oracle deck. Here are the cards. Do me a favor, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I want you to connect to these cards, and of course, whenever you are seeing this video, this card is meant to be for you. Like usual, I'm going to split the deck in half. And this is the card for this video. Rainbow Blessings. And this is your message for this card. The storm has passed, and it's time to enjoy the refreshing beauty of this cycle. Even though it has been difficult to appreciate any sense of purposefulness in what you have endured lately, you can now, as they say, count your blessings. Do not just look at the brighter side, adhering to some of the academic mantra that has no heart or depth, but do so slowly with genuine gratitude that is expressed up close and personal. This ever-evolving process of life is a blessing, an opportunity to exist as a human being on Earth. The planet is a beautiful garden, even if it does not always appear to be so. Sometimes it is only when you look back at a memory of an experience that you can truly see the blessings that have come from them. Bless your difficult or painful experiences and let them go. Wow, that's such a beautiful card. And as usual, I wish you an immense amount of luck in your spiritual journey. Like I said, this video is going to be about my 5 favorite spiritual and self-help books that I am recommending for you to read as soon as you can. The first book I recommend is Earth, Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library. This book is a must read. I recommend this book to everybody who wants to start their spiritual journey because it opens your eyes to amazing things that you thought were impossible. This book empowers you in every way. It is a channel text by Barbara, who is the author of this book, and she's channeling the Pleiadians and getting information from them about Earth and why it's called a living library. So questions that you have about Earth and you're really interested in Earth and you have no idea where to get information about Earth in such a deeper level, this book will probably answer the questions that you have. I think those who want to awaken a bit more and really go in depth about Earth and where they're living in should definitely read this book because wow, it's so mind-blowing, and the information you get from this book, you have to read it more than once to fully comprehend what this book is telling you. I would definitely recommend this book. This is like one of my favorites to anybody. And you should go out and get it today, like right now. To get you a little bit interested in this book, I'm going to read a small quote from the back to see if I can draw you into buying this book. Awaken, dear friends, within this dream and realize that it is your duty and responsibility as human beings to imagine and visualize a safe world. It will be as you decree, and your own experience will thus reflect it. I hope that quote interested you in any kind of way. It is 251 pages long with dense information that all you need to know about the living library, which is Earth. The second book, which is my second top favorite, is The Alchemist. Unfortunately, I don't have the book with me because I love this book so much and I recommend this book so much that I give this book out to people and somehow it never gets returned to me, but that's totally fine. It's more for them than for me. But my main question for those who haven't read this book, because I'm sure a lot of you heard of it, is what are you doing? Why aren't you reading this book? This book is amazing. I came across this book in 3rd grade and I read it and didn't fully comprehend what this book was teaching me, but somehow in recent years I came back to the book. I don't know how. I feel like this book, even in 3rd grade, where I fully couldn't comprehend the lessons that they were teaching me, that it made an impact in my life. And I remember the book and I was like, I need to read this book again so I can fully understand why this book impacted me the way that it did. So the book takes you through a story that gives you lessons that you can use in your life today. So the important lessons that you can learn from this book is that fear is the biggest obstacle than the obstacle itself. Another one could be practicing gratitude every day and realizing even the smallest things that you should be grateful for and admiring and loving it. And I think the most important lesson in this book is being your highest self will naturally bring success to you. So just being who you are and loving who you are and going through this journey and not being fearful, you will get the things that you want. Don't give up. And that's the next thing. Don't be afraid of failing. This book teaches you not to be afraid. And I love the way that the author wrote this book because it puts it all together, all these lessons in a life story, and you can relate to it. And you could compare it to the struggles that you're dealing with today. This book made such a huge impact in my life. It's amazing to think that we are all alchemists and we are all creators of our own reality. So the reality we are living in right now is the one that we choose. And it's so important to realize that we have the power to change things the way that we want to. And I know the book makes you realize this power, which is why it makes such an impact in my life and why I share it with other people. This is a book that I recommend. It's so easy to read and no one should have an excuse to not have read this yet. So a small quote from the book to get you interested and hopefully buy it. Here it is. Listen to your heart. It knows all things because it came from the soul of the world and it will one day return there. The third book I recommend is The Power of Now. I think the book The Power of Now is another essential book to have when you are starting your spiritual journey and you need maybe a little bit of guidance. Leave the ego behind. Leave the ego behind. This is what this book is all about. Leaving the ego behind is something that you should try to achieve in your spiritual journey. The ego has no interest in your higher self, and this is why you must learn how to leave it behind. So this book gives you a step-by-step guidance of being aware of your ego. So it makes you realize what your ego is and make you aware of when you are thinking and talking through your ego self. This book is so intense with information. They even have little symbols within the book. At moments you can take a break and put the book down so you can process what is being said. This is what these symbols look like. To me, it reminds me of maybe like a musical note, something you see on a sheet of music. What's important about this book is that it's a destruction of ego and a construction of your spiritual enlightenment, which is why this book is a must. It teaches you how much power you have in the now, how much power your thoughts that you have now and the actions that you take now really matters for the future. Being in the present moment and realizing and thinking in the present moment is when you allow yourself to not have ego in the way. So here's a quote from the book to get you interested. And if you feel guided, you should buy this book as well. The power now can only be realized now. It requires no time and effort. Effort means you're trying hard to get somewhere. And so you are not present, welcoming this moment as it is. The fourth book that I recommend is Siddhartha. I'm sure many of you have heard the story Siddhartha before, and if you haven't read the story, you definitely have heard about it. I would recommend getting the illustrated version of the book because I just think I love art, so illustration helps me. I could show you some examples of the illustrations. So if you haven't heard about this story is about a man who goes through a spiritual journey of self-discovery. Already learning everything that he could in his village, he leaves his village to discover what he considers true enlightenment. Siddhartha is a truth seeker like I hope we all are. Through the story, you can realize how similar his spiritual journey is with ours. The story might be more exaggerated, more grand, or it might not. I love the story because it reminds you that the truth you seek is really within yourself at the end of the day. He goes through this whole journey, traveling to different villages and meeting different people, that at the end, the truth that he really sought was within himself. It's a beautiful story and it should be shared with generations to come, and I'm sure it has already been because this story is really, really old. But it holds up to this day and age, which is why it's very important to read. So I'm gonna read you a quote from the book to get you interested, and hopefully you'll feel guided to buy this book. How beautiful the world was when one looked at it without searching. Just look simply and innocently. And that's Siddhartha. So the fifth and last book that I recommend for you to read or just have is not considered a spiritual book, but it can be, and it also can be considered a self-help book. But I wanted to include this book into this list because I think it's very important to have a herbal medicine book that you have on hand. What I love about this book is that it gives you instructions how to make oils, creams, and even things to drink for common issues that you might have. I even think it's so cool in this book is that it shows you the plants and like the parts that you use exactly. So when you're out foraging yourself, you know which parts you can use and which part is usually not used in a recipe. It also gives you the history of the herb, what your past ancestors used the herb for, and what you can use it today. For instance, there's rosemary here, and it tells you your self-help issues, which is this can be helped for migraines, tired and aching muscles, sore throat, and premenstrual symptoms. It also tells you how it's traditionally used and how it's currently used. Yes, this book is a must. This book should be on hand all the time because you never know when you're gonna need it. And I just think, you should go to Earth first before looking at pharmaceutical stuff, because Earth gives us what we need to cure a lot of the stuff that are common. And on top of that, you'll save a lot of money and you're doing something good for your body. So yes, that is all the books that I recommend for you to read. That is a must. I hope that you like this video. If you have any book recommendations for me, I would love to hear them and drop them in the comments below. Please do me a favor. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sending you a lot of light and love as usual. Bye!